right. Idiots on Parade. Hello. We are the Too Ugly for TV podcast, and we're trying something new. Tired of Liars. If you are watching us, um, usually what we do is we go live on our phone and record on Zoom, and then I edit the Zoom. We're doing everything live on YouTube, and we've got our phones turned, so the chat is sideways. We're getting a whole lot of problems. It's saying our mics aren't hooked up, even though I have it physically hooked up. Um, it says that our phones are auto locked, even though I specifically chose horizontal. We're going to see how this works. Tell us if we're sideways or if you have to tilt your phone as you tune in. We'll just jump into the news because because that's what we do is we jump into the news. And I got to turn my hand. What's up for Paul? Hello, Paul. And tired of you. We're sideways. Yes, we are supposed to be horizontal. So if you tilt your phone, it's for anybody that's watching on a computer. Maybe we'll go back to vertical for next week. But right now we are going horizontal.
Yeah, horizontal kind of blows so far, man. I'm not a horizontal fan. I'm a vertical man myself.
Well, I can't believe they put the chat vertical with the orientation sideways. YouTube, it seems like a very big flaw to allow us to rotate it horizontal for the full width of a YouTube video, but then to put so that I have to, turn my head. Tired of Liars, you're on a computer and we're sideways? Is that what you're saying? That we are like, you're on a computer looking at a horizontal and we are vertical. Is that what you're saying? That we're tilted? God, YouTube is so fucked. This is absurd. Yes,
well, I think maybe next time, maybe after this podcast, we do a little test and try to do it from our computers, the YouTube live thing.
I tried. I looked all that up, and it automatically said it was going to put ads in the middle of us talking. There was something
really,
and I couldn't add again. It was. I'll look at it again.
Wait, we could make. Hang on, not to screw the viewers over, but are you saying we can make money off this? That's what I'm hearing.
Not with our viewers. All right, go vertical. Let's just go vertical.
Boom. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's better. This is like in Wizard of Oz when Dorothy went from black and white to color. I love it. This rocks, dude. I'm clicking my fucking heels together. We're not in Kansas anymore. Yeah.
All right. Tired of Liars says we're better. We're on track. All right, that was an experiment. It failed. Everything went wrong. It was horrible. YouTube screwed us. They lied and said we could do a full on Mel. Thanks God we changed the camera. Well, we apologize. And we still don't know if the mics that are physically hooked up are working.
I know.
Thank you, Paul. All right, good. All right.
Because right now you shouldn't be able to hear me. Because I am muted on the mic, but you can still indeed hear me, right?
I can hear you, yes. So, yeah, all right. So totally. You're muted, but
yeah.
What is your gender and pronouns? Oh, we're not starting with that. We haven't even done our first news story.
Listen, we already had one experiment go bad on this one. All right, we're not going to experiment with changing our pronouns in the middle of a live podcast.
Not yet. Maybe the next one. Your audio is good, so it's okay. All right, cool. Good for that. All right. First, let's jump in with the biggest news story of the week. This was everywhere. I am surprised that the Tariffs knocked it off the front page because Morgan Wallen stormed off stage at the end of Saturday Night Live. Stormed off. Nobody knows what he was thinking. Jake, I sent you a video. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I saw a dude calmly and casually storming off the stage at a slow pace.
And not just that, but like hugging the hostess, giving her one. I'm like, hey, it was nice hanging out. And then just like looking around like, okay, and walking off like the show is over. Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe nobody told him like, hey, when the credits are rolling, you stick around, we go to an after party. He just looked like, okay, good night. Like no big deal. How is this a goddamn, we take everything and read everything into everything.
Dude, it's because people in the media on the left don't like Morgan Wallen. They're like, he's a country guy. He said the N-word when he was drunk in his driveway. We hate him. If this was a guy, hey, man, I'm not saying the dude's not a dickhead, especially when he drinks in his driveway. Yeah. What I'm saying is if this was not a country guy who said the N-word, you would not give a fuck about this. You would not care about this at all. It wouldn't be stormed off. If anything, it would be, hey, isn't this funny? This guy awkwardly walked off in the middle of the credits. I mean, it would be nothing. It would be nothing. If this was a country dude who trashed Trump, you wouldn't say anything about it. If anything, you would
Yeah.
be applauding him. You would be like, "Oh, it was such a funny way he walked off the thing." And
They
I
call
mean,
it like they call him confused, or like you just said, funny, or oh, did you see everybody stays but he walked off? You know, like he walked, and he actually if you know the stage setup, he walked toward the audience. He didn't
yeah,
walk off the stage, so they would be praising him, saying, "Oh, he walked into the audience to be with fans." But no, because they don't like him, it's he stormed off. Nobody knows what he's thinking. He had to get back to God's country because he sent a tweet. You know, and he didn't even say, "Get me back to God's country. Fuck New York. It's a hellhole." He just, I'm going home. It's like they
right.
take a 1 and they're making it a 12 out of 10. They're just blowing it up for the sake of clicks and manufactured outrage.
Right. And I'm not saying the other side doesn't do it too. Look, if if he was some dude from New York and he tweeted, "I'm going back to God's country," yeah, there'd probably be, "Oh, you mean that liberal run shithole with all the homeless people and the migrants and the murders on the subway? It's hell on earth." Like it would be, they would be doing it too. But
Yeah.
it's stupid, man. I don't know why everyone's looking into this so much.
Because the reason everybody's looking at it is because it happened on Saturday and nothing had happened on Sunday, so it had to become big news before the tariffs hit. Just like one other scandal, I sent you this headline: Colin Jost sets MAGA off with savage jab at Pete Hegseth amid leaked text scandal. Um, Apparently I wondered what it was. I watched the sketch and I'm like, I was waiting for something big to happen in the sketch, and when I didn't get it and they said live from New York, it's Saturday night, I'm like, all right, what did I miss? So then I read the article. They suggested he was drinking while at work. They suggested a known alcoholic was drinking while at work, a known alcoholic that broadcast war secrets over a public chat, not public, but
Dude,
and easily hacked.
if he added the reporter from the Atlantic dead sober, I'm more worried about that. You
Yeah.
know, like as a drunk who does dumb shit, and I'm not great with my phone, as you guys saw at the beginning of this live stream. I empathize with Pete Hegseth by getting drunk and adding that guy. I've sent. I mean, we're lucky he didn't send that guy a dick pic or something. You know what I mean? I've accidentally sent dick pics. It's embarrassing. I'm a drunk who's bad with my phone. I empathize with. If he's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed with a cup of coffee in his belly and nothing else, and he's adding reporters to the live chat and sending word secrets, I'm way more concerned about
And I want to go on record and say that I've been the recipient of your drunken dick pics, and I
that.
do not
Right,
appreciate them. I open up my phone like, "Hey, what's Jake up to?" Oh, it's his penis.
right. That's why they don't give me war secrets. They've seen my dick too many times while I'm drunk.
Danger Aware says hello and tells everybody to click the like button. Thank you for that one,
Oh, th-
Danger Aware. Um, I know what I'm about to say is sort of hack and trite, but if you want to be angry over something, be angry over the fact that Saturday Night Live was gifted the chat with the reporter and the war secrets, and they made a sketch that just wasn't funny. Che and Jost are generally dead on in the news. I love the Weekend Update, but man, the openings, they're outraged because they suggested he was drunk, but I'm outraged because it wasn't funny in the slightest.
you know what? It's hard to do good sketches, man. It really is. So like, I try not to sit there and go, "Oh, this sketch wasn't funny." It's like, yeah, man. Like most of them aren't gonna be. Like sketches are tough, man. Especially when
Yeah.
it's a sketch in front of a live audience that they just wrote that week. It's impressive that they churned
Well,
that.
they just wrote it that day because it happens so fast. That
Right.
I'm gonna. I don't know if we've talked about this, but everybody says their era of Saturday Night Live was the golden era. What everybody forgets, and I fully believe this, and it's not an insult, is that most weeks, most of the sketches aren't funny, but there's one gem that's
Right.
brilliant, and that's what you remember.
Got
And
Dick
so over the
Truck.
course of a season, you can put together a best of, and you can say, "Wasn't this season great?" And you can do
Right.
that with you look back on Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler, you're going to find a lot of sketches that aren't funny. You go back to Eddie Murphy, you're going to find a lot that aren't funny.
Oh, that
The
was in the
funny
80s.
ones
That was a
stand the
dark time,
test of
man.
time. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was in the 80s. That was a dark time for that show. You're going to find a lot of those.
Well, I mean, the Eddie Murphy, there was the Robert Downey Jr. Anthony Hall season that was definitely dark times.
Yeah, yeah.
But even the Chris, oh God, I'm drawing a blank on his name. not Christopher Guest. Oh, the Letterman guest. The with the oh my god, I can't draw his name out. I'm so angry
Look,
at
we
myself.
celebrity. We got a blue check mark in the chat. Diddy's in the chat and says he's almost finished.
Oh,
Snort
that's
emoji.
awesome. I gotta Google. You make fun of Diddy in our chat. I have to
I just came from a free Diddy rally myself. I'm not saying that I think he's completely innocent, but the people that still stick with him now are a fun hang. That was a fun rally.
okay, I'm so angry at myself. Christopher Elliott, Chris Elliott. Even he had one the disaster of a season he was on with Janine Garofalo had one brilliant, beautiful sketch where he played a it was a women's self-defense class, and my screen just went dark. My the I win self defense class, and he was the puppet that they beat up, except the live action. And the whole self defense class was women kicking him in the nuts, and it just kept going, and it was hilarious. It was so good. But the whole point is that Saturday Night Live always has more than it does great. So I'm saying that it's sad that they were gifted the reporter in the chat. But
I,
yeah, it's hard to
I
take
looked
that
up
and make
the
it into a sketch the very next day.
I looked up the weekend update just because you sent me the article about. I thought the weekend update was good. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the weekend
It
update
was pretty
was
good.
is usually good. That's what I'm saying. The weekend update is generally solid. Che and Jost
Yeah.
nail the weekend update.
Tired of Liar says great start, mediocre middle, good ending equals great performance. I agree. As a guy who coasts on mediocrity, I love that.
Are we
Ron,
talking about sketches or sex? Because
now
you
I'm
know
covered with no towel. That's right. Diddy keeps jizzing in our live chat.
he does, and good on him. I mean, he's in prison right now, so he needs something to do. And I'm glad that we can be there for Diddy while he's killing time on a phone in prison. You're welcome.
Free Diddy. That's right.
All right, next video. Oh, this God, I hate the fact that we only record once a week, so that by the time we get to a story, it's already been talked about. But how beautiful is the fact that Trump put tariffs on every country except for North Korea, Cuba, and Russia, but he did include two uninhabited islands in the Antarctic where there are only penguins. I mean, you know how he did that? Not he, but his staff. It was exactly the same way that they pardoned all the January 6 people, where they were going through, if you remember, and saying, oh, should we pardon this guy? Should we pardon this guy? This guy did this. And Trump went, I just pardon everybody. So they did.
Sure.
And that's what they did here. They said, well, who should we put tariffs on and how should we do it? Do we do things like, we'll take off North Korea, Russia, and Cuba, and everyone else gets it. So then Penguin Islands get it's. Oh, you know what they didn't report?
Now, if they make a sequel to March of the Penguins, it's going to cost twice as much to make. I don't want to have to pay extra to stream that thing. That
Or
got
Happy Feet.
We're
If they
happy.
replace Robin Williams and do another Happy Feet.
That's right. Happy Feet are going to cost the price of shoes now. It's going to be crazy.
You know what I want to see? I need to look up if they put a tariff on that island off the coast of India that you're not allowed to go to because it's got wild natives on it. Remember the Christian missionary went there a couple of years ago and got killed, bow and arrows. I
That's
want
right.
to know if they put tariff on those guys.
Well, I heard he did, and I heard those guys are even more pissed. They're like, let another fucking missionary show up after these goddamn tariffs. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Can we Gayla, I can't see it. I need glasses. Can we please describe the John Pork crisis, please? I'm not familiar with what he's talking about. Can you fill us in, Mr. K?
Who killed John Pork? I don't know who John Pork is.
Neither do I. I hate to say
It
this, but it
seems
sounds like a porn star.
murdered
It
dog.
sounds like an adult star, adult movies.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell this is. Do you know who John Pork is? Your immediate answer is no.
Jim Nolan's on my side. He wants tariffs on the native island off the coast of India. We need tariffs there. He's on my side. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, I don't want remote indigenous people, on islands taking all of our jobs someday. So
I guess my thought is if I ever need a loincloth, they probably know how to make it best. And so I don't want to pay more for a loincloth handcrafted by indigenous folk that have no idea the outside world exists. I want that at cost, at the cheapest cost possible.
That yeah, well, here's the thing though. My father's worked in a loincloth factory in Iowa for the past 30 years. And I don't want I don't want these bastards, I mean, no offense, on this indigenous island to start making loincloths and undercutting its prices and completely drive them out of business. So I think we should put loincloth tariffs on the people on those islands.
Protect American loincloths. Paul just showed up, whoever this is. Make Kamala sober again. MAGA back in business. Make deportations great again. Is Kamala a drunk? I did see this. I did not send you this story. I
Were you?
saw this morning a headline that said Kamala was surprised by her loss. She had bought into the hype that she was going to win. And I
Sure.
thought that was hilarious, given that a couple months ago we talked
Didn't
about
happen to most candidates though.
it does, but a couple months ago we got the reports saying that they knew they had internal polling
Yeah,
that said they were hiding from their donors that they knew they were going to lose all the swing states.
sure.
Did they hide that from their candidate too, their candidate? I mean, like,
Might have.
I would like to know if Michael Dukakis was surprised by his loss, because that one was a gimme. This one could have been close, but I mean, North Sentinel Island. Thank you, tired of liars. Yeah, but I mean, how? I guess I'm stuck on making Kamala sober again. Has she been drunk since the election? Is that what she's
Yeah,
doing?
and
Is drowning?
she's not in office right now. She can drink all she wants. Worry about your Secretary of Defense there, bud. He's the drunk motherfucker adding reporters to group texts about war plans. Kamala's
I,
not doing that. Even if
I
she
think
is
they said it was Waltz
fucking
that added
headset
him.
right now, she's not in charge of the war plan. So who gives a fuck?
Tired
Everybody.
of liars. Tariffs on the number of missionaries killed. Actually, that would only be if they exported the dead missionary's body. Don't aren't they? Did they eat it?
I believe they kind of displayed it, kind of you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They made decorations with it as kind of like a warning to other missionaries.
A little Silence of the Lambs when Hannibal Lecter escapes from the prison and the
Something like
guard he strung up.
something like that. It's a rough one. I didn't think we'd be talking about that guy today, but here we go. Yeah, this is
Yes,
wild.
yes. All right, next story. This one I think is amusing just to me. I don't know. The NFL tush push ban reportedly has support in league meetings, though discussions are heated. Apparently, and I'm sad about this, my Green Bay Packers are leading the charge for having the tush push banned. One of the quotes in the article is, if you're under a yard, it's almost a guaranteed first down. Well, come up with a way to fucking defend against it. Like,
You're right.
if it's a move, they discovered it. The Eagles perfected it. They say a lot of teams are trying it, but they're mad at the Eagles for having perfected it. That's on you. You have to come up with a defense for it. And my favorite part of the article is they say right in the article they are citing player safety and health, even though no player has been injured on any of the tush push plays. It's like,
I was going to ask you about that because I was like, the people always point at in rugby how they don't wear helmets and
yeah,
pads,
they get that scrum and
and
then
then
they
they
push.
well, because they're not running into each other at full speed.
Yeah,
They're like just getting up at the line and essentially doing the tush push. So I'm like, this seems safer than most other plays, and I'm glad you point that out. The Green Bay Packers, man, got to change their name to the Green Bay Karens because this is ridiculous. They're crying about nothing here.
well, I mean that's why they changed the and I don't like it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like it. They changed the kickoff rule so that you can't have players charging at each
Well,
other.
and that one, like that's legit.
Yeah,
Like they're
no,
they're
I'm agreeing with you. That's your point.
yeah. Where this is the opposite thing. This is one that actually affects the game a lot more. I'm not saying kickoff returns never affect the game. Yeah, sometimes they get a breakaway. They run it back really far. Sometimes they run it. For the most part, though, they kind of get it. Around the 20-ish yard line, and then they get you go into the downs. Right. It doesn't really affect it as much. Um, But whereas this one does affect the game a lot more, changing rules for like, hey, we're on third down and we got a yard to. I mean, that's huge, you know.
Well, and how? I guess they would have to define what's the difference between a tush push and a quarterback sneak because they're really closely aligned. It's basically a quarterback sneak with one person behind pushing. Is that the rule? Is going to be if you pull a quarterback sneak, you cannot have a running back shoving the quarterback. I mean, it's getting silly.
If anything, I just think they got to pick a better name than tush push. I don't like that at all.
I mean, we're dealing with a sport where men walk around smacking each other in the butt, just like baseball.
Yeah, not no no. I'm giving a thumbs down to that. No more of that either. No slapping on the butt. No tush pushing. You know, it should just be called a I don't know, a first down push. I mean, admittedly, that's a worse name, but come up with something. Come up with something that's better than tush push.
Hey, tush push rhymes. If you can find something that rhymes like tush push, then you're golden. But all right, we're getting accused of being groomers in the chat.
By John Johnson. That sounds like a groomer name right there. If your name is John Johnson, you should not be able to live around a school.
Well, Jim wants to know what a groomer is, and it's funny because groomer is one of those things where it meant many things up until a year ago. Used to be a dog groomer, used to be like
Right.
a stylist, and suddenly with the onset of it took sexual, and now it's like, ooh, if you're a 35-year-old man talking to a 20-year-old woman, oh, you're grooming her because she's still young and you want her to,
Well,
or if you,
that's where it bugged me, though. That's where it bugged me, where the term started including adults. You know what I mean? Because that used to mean like you're basically trying to like do something with a kid or whatever, and like prepping to do some pervy stuff with somebody under 18, right?
right.
And it was like, oh, I was groomed at work. I was a 24-year-old temp, and my boss took. It's like, wait a second, wait a minute. You mean you a full-grown adult? I'm not saying you should be doing, you know what I mean, hitting on the interns or whatever. But it's not grooming if they're adults. This is crazy.
This I have a sideways thought here, but stay with me. Jessica Alba is getting a divorce, and one thing she said in her divorce was, uh, she said something like her husband stole her 20s from her. And I'm like, yeah, the Joe Jonas guy married the Game of Thrones woman. She was like 19 when they met and 20 or 21 when they got married, and he was 30, maybe something like that. I'm like, okay, that's not good, and it's not going to last because you have to let. But I looked up Jessica Alba. He was 26 too. Like when she said he stole my 20s from me, I in my head immediately pictured like a 50-year-old dude, like Sydney Sweeney, who's 21 and dating a 46-year-old. I imagined a guy that was 20, 30 years older than her. And then when I saw that it was like, oh, he was 26 as well, I'm like, well, what the fuck do you mean he stole? You're two 20-year-olds that fell in love and decided to be stupid and get married too young.
I don't know, man. I don't think that's really the same thing. That just sounds like somebody talking
No, I'm
shit.
not saying it's the
First
same.
person.
I said I'm
Yeah,
going sideways. I'm going like it's what
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought of.
I don't know. That just sounds like you know what I mean. Hey, being married to this guy was shitty. He's a dick. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I
Yeah.
don't think really accusing the guy of much there.
Well, she said he stole his 20. She didn't say I gave up my 20s or I made a mistake. But either way, I agree with you 100% though that grooming it's taken on it's sort of like racism for the left. The right accuses everything they don't like of pedo and grooming, whereas the left accuses everybody of racism if they don't like it. It's like
Yeah, no,
grooming.
sure. The right started using it to go after like drag queen story hours and stuff like
Right.
that. And yeah,
Well, I'm saying it's expanded beyond drag queen story hours. Like literally, they use it for almost anything they don't like now. It used to have completely only sexual overtones aimed at children, and now they just sort of drop it like a bomb. The exact same way the left, if there are two people involved and one is white and one is a person of color, it automatically for the left goes to racism, and with the right, it automatically goes to protect the kids grooming. It's a nonsense thing now. It's lost meaning to me. Like it gets tossed into chats like this for no reason other than some idiot thinks it's funny. Like, hey, are you those groomer guys? Ha ha ha! I'm so funny. I call them groomers. Like it just becomes dumb.
I'll bet John Johnson out there right now is grooming kids while wearing a Confederate flag T-shirt. I think he's a racist groomer. I both things.
Jim says it's a reference of one of Jake's funniest bits.
Oh,
Smell,
it
smell
smells.
yeah.
Yeah, that.
Uh,
Thank you,
Jim
man.
said
Yeah,
that. Jim
shout
said
out
yes, the
to
racists actually
Unalived
are. Well, some people are
Social.
racist, some aren't.
Yeah,
I can't read the name there. Correct me if I'm wrong. I missed the first part. Danger Aware says they took it after we started using it seriously. It is diluted our mission statement. Yes, Danger Aware it's an organization. Danger Aware is an organization that actively works to teach children how to protect themselves from predators, and now they have to deal with the fact that people don't know what grooming really is because it's been so, like he said, diluted. Like DangerWare is a good organization that actually tries to protect kids, and their job is becoming harder the more you overuse the term and misuse the term.
yeah. I mean, you know who the real victim in all this is people that own dog grooming stores. You know what I mean? They're just like, no,
Yes.
not that kind of groomer. There's people protesting in front of there. Get your finger out of that dog. You know, it's like, no, I'm cutting its hair into a cute little pompadour. Not doing what you guys are accusing drag queens of.
And like you said with the tush push, I mean, dog groomer just has a nice ring to it. Dog haircuts, dog stylist, it just doesn't flow. We have a dog groomer. It's a mobile grooming that comes to our house, takes our little puppy, takes her out, gives her a nice, poo. I just dog haircuts. It doesn't have that, the chef's kiss. Dog haircuts. I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, the term tush push sounds like something a legit groomer would do. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, she's not 18, but a tush push in the state of Alabama's legal. You know, like it. I,
Uh,
I think it sounds creepy. I don't like the term tush push, man.
It
Like,
sounds tush push. Now the way you put tush push along with 18, it sounds like it could be a Winger song
it does.
about dating an underage girl, like Winger did with 17. It could be a
It does. It does sound like a winger deep cut that has.
Danger says grooming for abuse is different from aesthetic grooming. It is. Kim says the whole isn't out to get you or your kids. I agree with that. Paul, Tush Push sounds like a shitty country song. No, Paul, it sounds like a shitty country dance, like a line dance. It sounds like you do like I'm doing the hokey pokey, but you put your foot in, you put your right foot, you put your tush in. Is something with a tush push. It sounds like a shitty country dance.
Or a ditty song.
Or a Disney song.
That's
We got
right.
Winger songs and a Winger deep cut. I'm dead. You're welcome, Ken. Hey, buddy, what's up? There's my son coming in.
We're going swimming.
Hey, bud.
You're going swimming. Yes, I know.
Have fun swimming.
Do we need any swim trunks?
No, you're borrowing the swim trunks from Jacob. You're half naked live on YouTube, buddy.
Yes, it was a weird conversation to drop in on.
Yeah, very weird. Hey, can you close the door, buddy, please?
Okay.
Thank you. We're at Grandma's house. I got a show tonight in Wisconsin, so I bring. That's why I brought the kid to Grandma's house, and they're going swimming, and I am live casting from Grandma's house in Madison, Wisconsin, for my show tonight. All right, that was a deep cut, Paul.
Green Bay
Kim,
Karens.
people don't want. Go ahead.
Green Bay Karens, tell them tonight, man.
You got it. Kim, people don't want to admit that youth are most likely to be harmed by their loved ones. That is absolutely true. It comes with Amber Alerts and abductions. And Tom says, ladies and gentlemen, we got them. I don't know what that means, but all right, let's go on to the next story. College students, come on, click. There we go. Oh, this one I found fascinating. College student who became subject of viral rumor says incident has ruined her life. This kid, 18 years old, University of Mississippi student, Mary Kate Cornett, 19. There was a rumor going around that a sorority girl slept with both a dad and her boyfriend. I don't know if it was a threesome. And this is why I find it fascinating. Pat McAfee talked about it on his podcast, not using her name. I can't find anything in any story that says how it got attached to her. He said what we just said. He's like, hey, did you hear this rumor that there was a student that slept with the dad and the son? That's crazy. And somehow it got attributed to her. And now she's suing Pat McAfee even though he didn't use her name. And her lawyer saying he didn't have to use her name. I don't know. I think free speech has to trump this one. Like you can't. If he had named her, said, "Hey, did you hear about this chick?" and said Mary Kate Cornett, she fucked her dad and her boyfriend, then absolutely sue him. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on the fact that she is filing a lawsuit, even though he discussed an internet rumor without naming her?
It's a tough one, man. Because if he did, it depends on the details he gave. If he gave details that could only be attributed to her, then I think he's in trouble. If not, if it's just a bunch of internet dudes, you know what I mean, kind of doing their own research, like that documentary, the guy that killed cats or whatever. Um, then I think he's safe. It just depends. You know what I mean? Like if he didn't give her name, but he said the sorority she was in and her hair color, her size, her job, or like if he named enough
Right.
where it's like this could only be her, maybe like a couple other people, then I think he might be liable here. But if he just said a sorority girl somewhere at the school, I don't think if that's all the detail he gave, I don't think they're gonna get him. I don't think they're gonna get much money out of him.
That's a good point because I have not seen the clip. All I've done is read descriptions, and it doesn't sound like he did anything other than
I don't know
discuss.
why this. Hang on.
Go ahead.
I don't know why this made me laugh so much. People Phil said the right one is gay.
Did we determine that we know that you're the bald one, but have we determined that you're on the
I'm
right, or am I the gay one?
I'm on the right when you're looking at it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I look more gay than you.
I've been running. You know what I mean? I've been getting in shape. I view that as a compliment, man. Most gay
All
dudes
right. Yeah. Well, I always do.
not to spread positive stereotypes, but most gay dudes keep in shape. So I consider that a compliment.
Paul says Jake is on the right. I want to scroll back because we missed a couple. Kim wants to know who named their baby Mary Kay 19 years ago. That's true. Well, it's a Mississippi thing. That is a Southern thing because you got to add an X. Mary Kay, you got to add a little lilt to the voice. Okay, Paul asks, was her image used? I don't think so. Like I said, everything I've looked at, I cannot figure out how this rumor got attached to this girl. Like, because everything was, did you hear what happened? Hey, this happened, this. And suddenly she said her name started trending. Like it just got attributed to her. And I want to find an article. If anybody out there finds an article that says, "Oh, here's how the dots lined up." The Zapruder film came out and showed she was at a party and this other sorority, like how her name got attached to it. But like I said, with Pat McAfee, he titled his Twitter post with two laughing emojis, "What's going on at Ole Miss?" But as far as I know, he did not use a description. He did not say a blonde girl. He did not say a 19-year-old. I don't know if he said her sorority, but that's what I find interesting about it. Her lawyer says, where's the quote? I scrolled past it. It all happened so fast. Well, I lost it. But her lawyer said, you don't need to name her to ruin her life. And I'm not sure about that. Like, I don't
But
know.
but you do need to give you do need to give more of a description of her than just saying some sorority girl did this somewhere.
Right.
Like it has to be enough details that came from you that a reasonable person would think that you were talking about her, if that makes sense.
Wouldn't she have to prove she's had some sort of financial harm caused by his post? That I don't know either, because libel laws in England are easier to sue for than America. America, we have. I mean, it could. I don't know if just your reputation. Oh, I forgot this. Look at yours truly. Now, I quote brought this upon myself, but remember my stupid canned pumpkin post from a couple of years ago, where I said, oh, I didn't buy canned pumpkin, and two influencers took what I said, and even though I specifically said this is a joke, it didn't really happen. They treated it as true. And I have an article in the New York Post written about me because calling me an asshole because I'm a bad husband. And I just thought it was funny. Now that's a lot different from. I mean, everyone was calling me an asshole and saying I'm a horrible husband. My wife should leave me. That's a lot different from saying you're a slut that sleeps with dads and brothers. But you got to roll with it sometimes. And again,
But
I brought this on myself.
no, here's the thing: apples and oranges, right? Because being accused of fucking your boyfriend's dad, I would argue, is a little bit worse than asking your wife to pick up pumpkin stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I think there's a little bit more of a negative connotation than asking.
Yeah, and like I said, I brought it on myself. I posted the
Yeah,
thing.
right. And it's like me saying, okay, Timmel's a bad husband because he made his wife pick up the pumpkin, which he said he did. That's like my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I say Timmel's a bad husband because he fucked a mother and daughter from a sorority or whatever, well, now I'm making shit up.
Well, that would make me a hero.
It would make it, and I was going to point out the gender double standard here. If there was a frat boy who banged a mother and a daughter, he would be getting high fived. There would be a statue of that guy in front of the frat house. Where's the high fives coming from her sorority sisters?
It's not just the gender disparity, it's also the attractiveness disparity, because if the dude, it's like whenever there's a teacher, a female teacher that sleeps with a male teenage student, yeah, it's not fair, but South Park nailed it. If she's attractive, it's all good. If she's not that, if she's ugly, then it's like, eh. So if the frat boy bangs, like an Alabama, like a Honey Boo Boo and Mama June, he's not getting any statues for that.
No, but he's at least getting a free shot and a beer, I think, for that. I'm more impressed by the Honey Boo Boo Mama June thing.
The ability to achieve an erection for such a case.
That's right. He's such a man. He banged Mama June.
All right, 2 more quick stories. This one, again, everybody's talked about this. I loved it when it was happening because it's just one of those things that I knew, but I didn't know or I didn't realize. Cory Booker breaks record for longest Senate speech in history. I'm not going to stop speaking. Good on him. It makes me laugh that until Cory Booker did that, the number 1 and 2 longest speeches were by Strom Thurmond and Ted Cruz, fighting to make America worse. It's like those were our top 2. One's a racist asshole that was fighting against segregating schools, and the other's just a human piece of shit that was fighting against healthcare for everyone.
That's what it was. Strom Thurmond that's what his speech was about.
Yeah, it was like anti-segregation. It's like, don't let them in the schools.
I gotta find that 24-hour speech of him going, and the whole school's gonna smell like cocoa butter. Because the thing is it's gonna start off pretty bad. You know what I mean? But again, he's going to start off with the arguments that you've heard of. Well, it's separate, but it's equal. It's nice over there in the other school that we built. But then it's going to get he's got to talk for 24 hours. So after the first hour, it's going to be crazy racist shit you've never even heard of coming out of this guy.
Yes. All right, final story. And this I just sent you today because it's a throwback to the other week when we were talking about...
Wait, before we go to the final story, let me just say the most impressive thing about Cory Booker talking for 25 hours is no bathroom break. I'm not saying it would be an easy thing to do if you did take a piss or whatever. Even if you could go for 10 minutes, come back, standing there and not pissing for 25 hours. That's insane. Did
you hear what he did? You did read about it. No, he stopped eating on Friday and he stopped drinking any fluids on Sunday. So he was completely dehydrated and hungry, so he would not have to go to the bathroom. And the best joke about it was made by Michael Costa on The Daily Show, who said, well, he stopped eating on Friday, but he's a vegan, so it's not like he was giving up much of anything. That was pretty fucking funny.
I didn't know he's a vegan. Wow.
Yeah.
So wait. He stops eating on Friday. When did he give the speech? Was that Monday?
Monday night. He started Monday night. He stopped eating. So he started fasting because he did not want to go to the bathroom. He stopped fasting and he stopped drinking. And so he was going for that Hollywood ripped cut, where you're dehydrated and your abs show.
This is insane, man.
Yeah.
It was, dude. But they're gonna pass the shit anyway. Like, I never got the filibuster. I never got.
Oh, this wasn't a filibuster. This wasn't a filibuster.
What do you mean? It had to have been a filibuster. He just
No. Filibusters when you go up to prevent a vote. He just went up to give a speech.
he just
literally
like doing it.
Yeah, he just did it to represent his constituents. He said he just did it to represent it because people are talking about what are Democrats doing. He's like, I'm going to speak and read letters. He specifically started Monday night so he would not interrupt any vote. And then it carried over into Tuesday into normal business hours. But yeah, it was not a filibuster.
Dude, that's insane. I wonder what the fuck he was on. You'd have to be on some kind of uppers, right? Some kind of amphetamines.
I don't know.
I would wear a diaper. You know what I mean? Like, I would wear a diaper. I would be like pissing and crapping myself, and I would make them all smell it. I would have been like, you want to take away health care for millions of Americans? Wow, it's shitty. Speaking of that, have fun with that. Have fun with the odor of this room.
No, good on him. Good on Booker.
Yeah, wow.
All right, final story. This goes into right-wing beer, which we talked about the other week. Quick Trip, the convenience store chain of the Midwest.
Oh, real quick, Jim asked, you're not wearing one now. No, I actually, while I do this podcast, I have an empty bottle of Gatorade that I piss in when I have to go.
Yeah, I don't have a I just soil myself. Like,
yeah.
I have to throw this chair away. My mom is not. I'm at my mom's house. She doesn't want this chair when I'm finished. This is done.
Yeah. This podcast chair got to go.
All right. So Quick Trip. So we talked about this stupidity, and we've talked about it a lot of just releasing a right wing beer or a left wing beer, unless you are the parent company and you're releasing both and just allowing idiots to buy either one because you get the money anyway. Quick Trip has cut to the core. They released Quick Trip Quittin' Time, QT, Quick Trip Quittin' Time beer for it's quitting time. When you're done with work, you have a beer. Like, take all the politics out of it. I'm sure it tastes like piss because I doubt that Quick Trip is putting in a lot of time and effort to make a nice artisan high alcohol. It's called premium beer, Quittin' Time beer. But how beautiful is that? Hey, you're done with work. It's quitting time. Have a beer. We're not getting paid by Quick Trip to promote this. We should, but damn it, I don't drink beer, but I'm supporting Quick Trip Quitting Time beer just for being clever, for nonpartisan, Jake, talk.
Not me.
You're going the other direction.
I like to drink on the job sometimes. You know what I mean? I like to accept it from time to time. I'm drinking my quitting time at noon.
Okay, so maybe they should make two beers. One is quitting time; it's the higher alcohol content, and then they could make not a non-alcoholic beer because that's pointless, but like just a low alcohol, like a regular Michelob Ultra beer.
No, I'm not sneaking non-alcoholic beer at work. That's a weird thing, man. It's a weird thing to pour into a giant Quick Trip mug, just a non-alcoholic beer. So no one knows what you're doing.
Paul says they're using Pabst Blue Ribbon and putting a different label on it. I'm spreading false information.
Right.
Tired of Liars says when it's time to relax, the best thing since Come and Go. Come and Go got bought out. Maverick, Mormon owned, says they're going to change all the Come and Go names to Maverick. I will not set foot in a Maverick when they do that. I will not set foot in Maverick after they take over Come and Go, because that's bullshit. Everybody loves Come and Go. Fuck Maverick.
They do. But I will support it twice as much though if they have Sarah Palin do all the commercials. In Maverick. Stop at Maverick. They need to get her as a spokeswoman.
All right. Well, thanks for being part of our first non-Zoom. I'm going to take the audio from this and put it on Spotify, but we're going to see how this sounds, and if we can, avoid recording two things at once. I'm going to look into recording directly on the laptop again. There was something about it I didn't like, There was something at the beginning of this when we're trying to do a horizontal feed that definitely didn't work. So thank you for your feedback up front, everyone. We got the camera situation situated. But yeah, we'll see how this sounds and how it works, and maybe we will just do straight to YouTube broadcasting and then rip the audio from here from now on. So, oh, by the way, tired of liars. I think you were the one that said to use the software to rip the audio. Turns out YouTube has a delay. When you first drop the live cast and then it goes into the archive, you cannot download it. But after 24 hours, you can. So I was able to get the audio off of last week when Zoom did not record. All right, now I'm just babbling. So we are done. Thank you for tuning in.
I'm going to piss my diaper like Cory Booker and a murderous astronaut woman.